What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to our Football Manager 2016 Let's Play here with Liverpool. This is a special episode, it's a double header. If you missed last episode, as always, go check that out. Today, we have a game against Manchester United away, and then we're following that up with a game against Arsenal away. So two pretty tricky league fixtures. There's a little bit of a gap in between, so we'll kind of cut out the gap where it's going to be the end of the transfer window. If you missed last episode, we have some money to spend. If you missed it, of course, go check out last episode. Let's talk about what we're doing with the £39 million that the board have given us. As you can see here, a few targets that I'm kind of eyeing up potentially. The first one here, Gabriel Barbosa, Brazilian international, plays for Santos, friend of Maya, who of course is the defensive midfielder we brought in. My scout says he's not a worthwhile signing. I've used this guy in a lot of FMs in recent years. Gabriel Barbosa is one of my favourite players. He kind of fits that mould, I guess, of Santos attacking midfielders who make their way over to Europe. Surprised he's not made that move already in real life. As you can see here, consistent performer. I think he's going to be a good signing for us, to be honest. Might fail to get a work permit, but we're on the appeal stage of that. We'll find out before the Arsenal game, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. Unfortunately, he's not with us for the game because of the work permit issue. We also have Zivkovic, who we are looking to sign for £3 million. I've then got to negotiate a fee with his agent, but he looks like a good kind of talented winger. Obviously, we don't play with wingers in our current system, but at £4 million for the 19-year-old international for Serbia, I think if we do get him on the work permit, which may be a stumbling block, he could be the kind of player who we either really shape into a really good talented trequartista down the centre of the pitch, or alternatively we just move him on for some pretty healthy money. And the last player who I'm hoping to sign is this guy, Yuri Tillemans. As you can see here, £11 million initial fee, £15 million over 48 months, and a loan back. That's the current deal that's going on. We've offered him a contract. He is currently mulling that over. Looking at this guy, of course, one of the best young players in Football Manager last year. This year again, as good as he was. I'm hoping we can bring him in. He's a class player, really good centre mid. If we get this guy in, we are just going to have the craziest kind of midfield setup for next year. As you can see, getting regular first team footballer and elect, which I think is going to be important for his development, which is why I've offered the loan back as part of his signing, because he just wouldn't get in our first team. So yeah, if we could get him, £26 million would be a lot, but for a player with some of the best potential in the entire game, it would be hard kind of not to, I guess, sign Tillemans for that much. So those are some of the transfers. A few well-known wonder kids there. I know for some people, perhaps me signing all these younger players isn't kind of what they love in FM, but for me, one of my favourite things is developing younger players, but also getting to kind of, I guess, watch them flourish and make it into the first team. And because I usually start with lower league teams, what tends to happen is I never actually get to see that development stage, because by the time I'm in the top flight with whatever team I'm managing, well, I guess it's the end of the kind of lifetime for some of those players in terms of their footballing careers. You know, they're in their late 20s and they've already developed. So we're kind of joining at an early stage here. You may not know, looking at my team here, that there's a few players here who wouldn't normally be starting. For the game against Watford, I elected to, rotate the team a little bit, give a few of the kind of new players, but also some of the younger players a chance to play in the first team, the likes of Mamana, Maya started. You'll also notice here Benteke injured. That's a shame. That's kind of made me want to sign Gabriel Barbosa just that little bit more, because we only have 4 strikers in the first team at the moment, in terms of we have Embolo, Ings, Sturridge and Benteke. Origi's out on loan, but only 4 strikers leaves us a little bit open if players get injured. So a player like Gabriel Barbosa will not only and I guess add immediate quality to our side, but he'd add to some nice cover in the attacking position. For today's game, as a result of the injury, we are going to be starting with Embolo, I think. I'm just weighing up maybe changing things around last minute, because Firmino I trained to play up front. You can see here he's actually not a terrible complete forward. I think we're not going to play Firmino there. I don't think we are. I think we're going to go with Embolo. I'm going to keep my faith in the youngster. We paid £20 million for him, and that price, I'd expect him to come into this kind of game and do half decently. We will see how we get on, though. It's not going to be an easy game for him to adapt to. We are in desperate need of a win, really. So far, we've played 3 games this season. Of course, we won the first game emphatically against Southampton. We then lost against Chelsea, which was last episode 2-1. And then, of course, as you guys saw, we beat Watford 3-0. So this is a big game for us. in terms of if we were to lose against United, it would mean that we've already lost against United and Chelsea, which I guess if we want to finish top 4, really, we need to be beating one of those top teams. So I'm hopeful that we can either get a result today or at least, at the very least, get a result against Arsenal, even if it's just a point. As I said, a little bit disappointed with us so far against the bigger teams. Obviously, we've only played Chelsea, so we can't get too kind of hung up on it. The fact that our fixtures have been pretty tough, and in the kind of the first 5 games of the league season, we are kind of playing Arsenal, United and Chelsea. It doesn't make things easy. Tell you what else doesn't make things easy. The fact Mbolo has picked up a knock. It's a dead leg. I've been told to sub him off immediately. We're going to do that. But that's not the start I wanted, because as I mentioned, lacking a striker, really. I guess the only option we have is to bring in Firmino. That's going to require us to bring on a deep line playmaker. And I think we're going to bring on Cataldi. I think Cataldi is the man for the job. So we're going to bring on the man who we paid £20 million for in the summer. He's obviously going to be replacing another player we paid that much for, which is Mbolo. But that's not the start we really wanted. We are away here at Old Trafford, so if we could hold on to possession, that would be nice. Looking at it early on, fairly 50-50 possession. Coutinho here with a free kick. De Gea tips it away. Moreno with the rebound. But De Gea with the save again. Now we have a corner. Can we make it count? This assistant advice is getting in the way. Emre Can to Cataldi. Blocked. Another shot blocked. We've had a clear-cut chance somewhere in the madness, but unfortunately for us, we've not made it count. Although Klein, a great tackle against Depay, a frightening player down the left-hand side for them. Going to have to keep an eye out for Depay. Looking at the stats though, 30 minutes into the game, we've had more shots, we've had more possession. We've had that clear-cut chance that we didn't take, but things are looking okay. You know, we're not being outclassed by any means. There's a risk, I guess, when you go to Old Trafford that United hold on to the ball. They really outplay you. You have your backs to the wall. But looking at it here, this game's been fairly competitive across the pitch. We've had slightly more shots, although Depay with a chance here and he smashes it into the roof of the net. I'm hoping the assistance flag's going to go up. It's not. That's Depay's first league goal for Manchester United in this save. It came from a set piece. I think it might have been Mata with the ball in. I'm not sure who is meant to be marking Depay here, but whoever it is has done a tragic job. I think it's Skirtle actually. It is. Martin Skirtle, the culprit. Depay smashing it in. And well, for all the hard work and okay work that I mentioned that we'd been doing, we're going to find ourselves a goal down likely here at half-time unless there's a late goal, which a little bit concerning perhaps. But we've got to be harsh to the players at half-time. I'm going to tell them that they've not been good enough. Good to see players getting fired up. We don't want to get anyone sent off. That's something we've got to be aware of here. You can see there's a few yellow cards, so that's something that I'm going to have to monitor. I don't want to make another sub just yet because we've already subbed off Mbolo for the injury and we've only 2 subs left, you know, using one in the 45th minute. I don't know, it limits our options, but we do need to bounce back as early as we can here as Coutinho will bring the ball forward, looks for Ings but fails to pull off a pass, although a ricochet here and it falls back at Coutinho, but he's dispossessed. And now United with Harry Kane, interestingly enough, on the attack. I guess they signed Harry Kane. We need to stop him. The England striker Sacco brings him down. He could get a red card here too. It's going to be a penalty. Apparently it looked like a dive. Apparently, according to the commentator. I don't know what to make of that. Schweinsteiger with a chance to double United's lead. This could be painful. At least Sacco hasn't been sent off. I've got to look at a silver line in there. And Mignolet with the save. And Depay misses the rebound. And wow. We have a lifeline here. Maybe that is a shift in momentum. United, though, they've come out the second half and they've created more chances than they did before. And Sacco, who, well, I said he was lucky not to get sent off before. He's just lost his head, has Mamadou. He is going to be seeing red. He's going to be going off the pitch. And wow. We have a situation to deal with here. I'm trying to work out where I can really afford to change things. I guess it's going to be a case of dropping our centre attacking mid, which is a little bit of a pain. The thing is, because we're a goal down, we've got to chase things as well. Oh, gosh, that really throws a spanner in the work, that red card. We cannot afford for any ill discipline, but, well, it's happened. I'm going to play a 4-3-2, but because we need to commit a few men forward, I'm going to set both Cataldi and Coutinho to kind of slightly more advanced attacking roles. in the midfield, so they've really got to make up for that gap that we're now going to have, where the centre attacking mid isn't. I'm also going to go more... Oh, we're already fairly direct. I guess we'll just stick with how things are. It kind of puts us in an odd situation here, because the shape that we're playing, it really doesn't lend itself well to chasing games. And also the fact that we've not got another striker to bring off the bench kind of throws us in a bit of a situation. Let's go with this. It's a little bit disjointed. It's going to have a few spaces here in the centre of the park. But I've got to start throwing forward a few men to really give us a chance here. There's only 15 minutes left, so we'll throw on Coutinho slightly higher up the pitch. We're going to be leaving ourselves exposed in the midfield, but with 9 minutes left, we've got to go for it. Half a chance here, although we've thrown it straight to Damien, however you want to say his name. I guess Damien's right. Now, United on the attack, there is massive gaps in this midfield because we've started throwing men forward, and now Blind is going to come through, and now Schneiderlin, probably not the play you'd want for the ball to fall to kind of in the box. Schneiderlin puts it wide, but United looking dominant here, and unfortunately just isn't a lot I can do to change this situation. I'm going to make my last change. Coutinho's had an absolute mare, so we're going to bring on Jordan Ibe, still retraining him to play the centre attacking mid position, but a little bit of game time at the position probably won't hurt him, as there's another set piece here, and it's going to be pretty painful if we were to lose this, because of course it's just come from one poorly defended free kick. You know, we've just not tracked the man, and now Martial with a chance. Mignolet tips it onto the post and makes another fine save. He made a few against Chelsea which kept us in it. He's made another one there, but unless we can really pull off a miracle, it's just not going to be enough. And as you can see, time is slipping away, although there might be a chance here. 5 minutes of added time. The ball has gone flying forward. Danny Ings with a chance, and that was the chance. Clean through on goal, and De Gea stands tall to make the save and deny us a chance there. And United going to take the spoils from this game. For the second game in a row against a big team, we lose by just a 1-goal margin. It was a tricky away game again today. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy. They're looking fired up. That poor discipline really cost us. It's disappointing. You can see because of our good goal difference and the fact we've played more games than a lot of other teams, we're still fourth at the moment. We're going to definitely tumble down the league. And Bono only out for 3 to 2 days. That's okay. We got fined as well for failing to control our players. Our players just, I don't know. They were a little bit kind of, how would you put it? They were a little bit mad. Lots of sendings off. Disappointing though, very disappointing. Guys, as I mentioned, this is going to be a double header, so I'm going to jump forward to the Arsenal game. There's an international break in between, so I'll join you guys shortly, and I'm hoping and praying that we're going to get a better result than the one we've had here. So we are back, guys, for the second game of this episode. We're taking on Arsenal. It's an away game again. I feel like, well, I know actually, all these big games against Chelsea, Manchester United and Arsenal have all been away. Fortunately for us, following this game, we're going to have an easier run of fixtures in the league especially. We did also get our Europa League group drawn. You can see here Partizan, Sion and Villarreal, the teams in our group. Fairly kind group, all things considering, so we should do okay there. We have got Arsenal in the Capital One Cup. Probably not going to do that game next episode just because it's not the biggest of games. I'll likely do maybe one of the kind of Europa League games. It might be this Partizan game. Perhaps, you know, the one that's going to be of the most significance. But let's focus on the here and now. We're going to be taking on Arsenal. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, which is a rarity for us, as you can see. We've had quite a lot of games on TV so far, but today, hopefully, we can make things better, I guess, than they have been. Looking at it here, Czech doubtful, as is Ozil. On our front, Sturridge is soon going to be back to full fitness, hopefully, but as you can see, still not ready for a fitness test, so he can't be selected. And Barbosa, who we have signed now, did get a work permit, failed his fitness test. He stubbed his toe whilst on international duty with, I think it was the Brazil under-20s. So that was a shame, because it would have been nice to give him a debut here. But unfortunately, he's just not ready for the game. I love this new feature, by the way, the fitness tests. It's a really nice addition to the game. In terms of the transfers that we did do before they closed the transfer window, as you can see, Barbosa and Tielemans have both been signed. I already showed you Barbosa. Tielemans here. gone back on loan to Anderlecht, so that's going to be good for his development. Looking at it, we've spent £113 million, which is a lot of money. Obviously, we got that extra money given to us by the board, and our initial transfer budget originally was only 20 million. A lot of that is made up of future fees, because all of these young players, I've signed them on deals where I'm paying around half, maybe a little bit more of their transfer fee immediately. Then we're going to be slowly paying it over the next few years. As a result, that's going to result in a pretty hefty dent into our transfer budget for the next 4 years. But I'm really hopeful that these guys are going to develop into basically key players, and combined with some of the talent we have at our side already, we're probably not going to need to sign too many players. That's the plan. Maybe some of these players will get shipped on for a bit of money, but we spent big this first season. My plan really with Liverpool here is to focus on kind of, seeing through the first few seasons, hopefully consistently finishing top 4. And then hopefully by that point, a lot of the talented youngsters that were already in the side, as well as those that I've signed, are really going to start to develop. The side, to be honest, is a fairly young team anyway, but you look at our bench, it's exciting times. Joe Gomez, 18, Mamana, only 19, Firmino, only 23. Maya 18, and Bolo 18, Jordan Ibe 19. There's just a load of really young talent, and it extends into the under-21s, where I'm yet to set up the additional training. I really should do that by now, but you can see just looking at some of these players, there's talent here. There's a lot of potential players like Shea Ojo potentially. A few other players like Kubas, Rajkovic, who we signed. There's even players like Markovic already here. Still got Balotelli to come back. He's 25. He's not old, I guess, and he's still a very solid player in Football Manager terms. I don't think the Serie A season started just yet, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on him. Maybe a player who next season gets a game or two. But anyway, let's get on to the second game of this episode. It's going to be against Arsenal. I'm really hopeful of a win here. We've already proven against the kind of the non-top teams, I guess, in the Premier League that we can beat them, and we can beat them comfortably. We've hammered Southampton, we hammered Watford, but we've struggled against two bigger oppositions in United and Chelsea so far. You can see United 1-2 drawn 2, so they're unbeaten. Arsenal have lost one game. It was 5-0 against Manchester United, who we only lost to 1-0. So by that logic, we should win this game 4-0. Unfortunately, football doesn't quite look like that and work like that. You can see they've beaten West Ham, Villa and Watford, all mid-table teams. So perhaps, we stand a chance in this game. Looking at their team, fairly standard Arsenal team. There's no massive new players there that are jumping out at me, so they didn't make too many signings. But yeah, hopefully we can get a result here. Away from home, I'm going to ask the players to give the fans their money's worth. I don't know why I did that, because that team talk kind of saying do it for the fans never works unless it's a derby. But we've managed to, I guess, rectify things even just slightly with the individual team kind of talks. And hopefully we can get a win here. We need a win. It's been a disappointing start, really, to this save since the first few games, but we have a chance here. Moreno whips it in, headed to Coutinho. Danny Ings is there. Cataldi. Ings. Oh, he can't bury it, and that was a clear-cut chance. 2 minutes in, we're cutting open the Arsenal defence, but it's pretty disappointing, and, well, Arsenal will get the ball clear. But that's good to see, creating a chance at least. I'm looking forward to having our really talented strikers in the side. Obviously, Ings and Benteke, two good strikers, don't get me wrong, but Daniel Sturridge is just on a whole nother level of finishing. And of course, we are going to have Barbosa as well coming in as well. Sanchez scores again, and that's the second free kick we've conceded from, and it's very similar to the one against United. I'm definitely going to have to look at our team training and certainly shift a focus perhaps for the next few weeks onto defending set pieces, because we cannot continue to concede from them. It's almost identical to the Depay one. This time it's a header flick to the far post by Sanchez rather than a volley to the near post, but it's the exact same ball and the exact same kind of poor marking. Actually, looking at the stats, it's a close game. We're not being outclassed by any means. But again, away from home, we're having more possession than Arsenal, albeit by just a very slim margin. But we need to turn that into a goal. And obviously, we had that clear-cut chance early on. And this has got a horrible feeling similar to the Manchester United game. But maybe we can have a chance here. Moreno launching a throw-up. Arsenal really piling the pressure up high up the pitch. But there's room in behind, and Ings friends through Benteke. Through on goal, please, Christian. Not gonna do it. Koscielny with a fine covering tackle. Wasn't classified as a clear-cut chance, so it might not be the end. As Danny Ings has a chance, and Danny Ings makes up for that previous miss. He gets his third goal of the season to make it 1-1. We move up to 8th. We need a win today. If we were to lose this game, it would be 3 defeats out of the first 5. Granted, you could argue we've played perhaps 3 of the hardest 4 fixtures of the season. Perhaps the only game missing from that set would be away at the Etihad. But nevertheless, we're going to get into this game. And 3-2... kind of in terms of a record, 3 wins, 2 losses, wouldn't be too bad considering the start to the season we've had. But it's going to be 1-1 here. Going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. They look fired up. I'm hoping we're not going to see a red card again here. I don't think there's any bookings. There isn't. So that's good. We've not completely lost our heads. We don't want to get fined again like we did in the United game, although... If we were to get fined for yellow cards but we win the game and show some fight, I'd be pretty happy. I do need to keep an eye on Klein's condition. He was playing a lot for England, which has exhausted him a little bit. We are going to have a set piece here, though. Debussy committing a foul. And who's going to be taking it? It's going to be Coutinho. Can we whip in a good ball of quality? We've seen a few already. It's whipped in, cleared away, and if we get counted on now, this could be a nightmare. Arsenal with lots of men up. Ball switched to Sanchez, very capable of finishing it. Cuts inside and... I said he was capable of finishing it. He's just shown how capable he is. Alexis Sanchez, second goal of the game, makes it 2-1. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's been a tough opening to the season in terms of fixtures. I'm confident we can turn it around. We've proven against smaller teams we can do it, but... it's disappointing, and when we're aiming for top 4, these are the kind of games which we need to try and put a fight in. Between the Chelsea, United and Arsenal game, really, I was looking at maybe trying to get 4 points from those games. And simply put, we've been nowhere near that, so far this season. It's been pretty disappointing all in all. I'm going to make a little bit of a change here. We're going to change... Firmino's coming in at centre attacking mid to a shadow strike. Just mixing up the system a little bit. Katoldi gashed his head open, so we'll sub him off anyway. The youngster probably wanted to come off sooner rather than later. Klein is struggling with his condition, as is Lucas. Is there one that I'd rather sub off over the other? We've already used one sub. Oh, no, sorry. We already used one sub before the Firmino one because, of course... We brought on Embolo. But this is not good. Arsenal on the attack here. Pizzi inside to Sanchez for a hat-trick. Mignolet with the save. He's been big for us so far, Mignolet. He's made some big saves. Unfortunately, the defence really hasn't helped him out. Emre Can with the header away, however, from the corner. And with 20 minutes left, we're not out of this game. It's been, again, a 50-50 game with both teams having a lot of chances. But right now, Arsenal, they've just been more clinical. It's disappointing to say that. It looks like we could lose by a slim margin again. I'm not giving up hope just yet, but we need to make a reply. And while Sanchez has been in fine form this game, we need to defend, and we're not defending. Lucas with the tackle. Now can we break? There's men up ahead. Embolo. He's got a lot of people to pass to. He's found Danny Ings, who's taken it around Monreal once and twice. The ball breaks to Firmino, but a foul is given against Danny Ings, and he's going to get booked. And it's a goal that is chalked off. And that's disappointing. There's another chance. I was about to make a tactical change for the last 10 minutes, but there's a chance here for Arsenal. Don't give away a penalty. Roland scores. Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. Heartbreaking stuff here. It's just not been good enough. Simply put, it's been terrible. I have one sub left. Who do I want to bring on? I'm going to just bring on Maya for Lucas, I think. Oh, it's heartbreaking, boys. It is heartbreaking. It's more upsetting, I think, because of that good opening to the season. If these results against Arsenal, Chelsea and United had come, I guess spaced apart, it perhaps wouldn't feel as bad. But to be losing 3 of the first 5 games of the season, no matter who the opposition is, it's that little bit disappointing. Granted, these games have been very, very tight too. This game's been a bit more of a runaway, perhaps in Arsenal's favour ever so slightly. But I don't know. We don't have the quality, I guess, of the true top 4 team. We don't have as good a squads as really Arsenal, United, Chelsea, City. They've got better players than us. And it was really going to come down to our tactics, I think, how we could do. And in these games, I've not mixed things up too much just because... I don't know. I feel like the tactic itself isn't terrible. We're having 50-50 possession. Arsenal having a few more chances here, but it's not as if we're not creating clear-cut chances. We're not taking them. We're just lacking that quality. I think when Henderson and Sturridge come back, who really are two of our better players, we're definitely gonna be better for it, and I'm looking forward to that. As you can see here, we've got some tricky fixtures coming up. I'm not going to do the Arsenal in the Capital One Cup game. I'm not sure when the next episode is going to be. Obviously, we have to do the City game at the end of November. Maybe I'll join you guys midway through October. I think the Partizan game would be the most logical one to do. It will mark the halfway stage in the Europa League. So it probably makes sense to do that one. So hopefully I'll see you guys for that episode. As always, guys, if you have enjoyed this video, smash the like button. 2 disappointing results, but we can't let that get us too disheartened. I'm going to quickly do a team meeting, actually, while you're here. And we're going to try and inspire the players for the next game. And that's very good. We got a good reaction. Morale is rising. Hopefully we can use that to go on to better things. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, smash the like button if you enjoyed. If you're new here, subscribe. Check out the playlist for this series down in the top of the description. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.